I'm gonna try this. I don't even know if I can see the chat or if anybody's gonna show up. But, I may take this one down. I make no promises at all. And I have no idea what I'm doing, so it doesn't really matter anyway. So, let's just see. I said I wanted to try it. What do some of these buttons do? At least 1 minute of a video is needed to start a highlight. Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. Let's see. The chat. Filter top messages to all messages. Okay. I'm learning as I go. Hi. Know someone. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I've never done this before, so I'm learning. Hello, SCL Ladybug. Hello, Bug Dude. I'm clicking on buttons. Ooh, I could do a filter. Ooh. Let's click on some filters. Hi, Nemesis. Pop. Nope. Don't like that one. Definitely don't like that one. That one makes me look dead. Ooh. It's very, brooding. Actually, that's more brooding. This one's a little more mysterious. Hello, Racine. I'm trying this out for the first time. Oh, thanks, Angie. I'm just pushing. Whoa, where the fuck did those bubbles come from? Hello, everybody. Hi, Nancy Bourbon, G to G. Oh, shit, was that a disco? Hey. Whoa, that's fucking weird. This one feels like a fever dream. I don't think it feels like a regular dream glamour. I don't see sparkles. The 8mm. Okay, whatever. This isn't Texas Chainsaw Massacre documentary. Sepia. Nah. Silver screen. Okay, I'm not trying to make a silent movie either. Let's see this one. Oh god, that's terrifying. And that's terrifying too. Wow, what a hellscape. What a hellscape. Okay, so we're gonna go back to no filter because that was all terrifying. I said I was gonna try it, so hello. Thanks. Hello, Martin Carstead, and hello, Glitched. Wow. That one that's like the reverse negative is like, what the fuck? Can you guys even hear me? Hello, Ashney. I hope you guys can hear me. He may show you some ideas. Who? Texas Chainsaw Massacre? You talking about Leatherface? I don't want him to. Hello, Nixon Bogain. Yeah, you guys can hear? Alright. I don't know. I wanted to try it. People are like, go vertical. Try the algorithm. You know? So you guys will hear loud noises in the background because I'm by the road. Right? But, hey. I literally have to sit here and talk to myself. So, entertain me, I guess. Or not. I don't know what I'm doing. So, I guess we're just gonna kind of hang and bang for a little bit. This is so weird. The people that do this on the regular, God bless you. God bless you. Because I can see how this would devolve rather quickly. So I hope everybody's having a good night. Saturday night. I'm old. So I don't really do anything on Saturday night. You know what I mean? Ratchet TV YouTube channel uses this format, and you may get some ideas from checking out how he uses it. Good to know. I will check it out. And I like the name Ratchet. Hello, Scientology, Ottawa. Hello. Live streamers are built different. They really are. Yeah. I mean, the people that do like their life on it, I'm like, I'm good. I'm not trying to make my own Truman Show, but I figured, you know, whatever. This is certainly different than setting it up on the computer. We'll see how it goes if the trolls show up. What did I have for dinner? Salt and vinegar chips. And my favorite. 0 sugar Canada Dry, the cherry ginger ale. This slaps. Bussin'. So good. So good. So crispy. Hello, Dave Steege. And hello, the real John Doe. Oh, well, thank you. It's actually one of those, like, crimper things, you know? Where it like makes it wavy or whatever. I said I was gonna try the vertical, so I'm trying it out. It's weird. Feels like TikTok, but not less dancing involved, I would imagine. Or those are, hi Meatball, I love you too. Or like, what do they do, like the NPC stuff? You know? Where they're like, yum, yum. I'm a cat. You gave me a banana or whatever weird crap that they do. But that hoe makes so much money. That hoe makes so much money. I picked the wrong field, man. I picked the wrong field. I could have been an NPC TikToker rolling in the dough right now. It's a damn shame. TikTok is wild. It is straight up wild. They're wild out there. I really can't deal with it. I'm good. I'm good on all that. It's not for me. I'm not built for it. I can't do the dances and the whole people filming themselves, like getting ready or like recording themselves talking, but they're not saying anything over audio. You know that they literally took like 30 tries to do that correctly. So they spent their whole day to make a 60-second TikTok where they're talking over the audio of like a clip from the Joker movie or something. And I'm just like, hey, you know, God bless. It's not for me. I'm too old for all of this nonsense. I remember MySpace and LiveJournal. Those were my days. Was LiveJournal and MySpace. That's how I used to get down. It was a weirder time then, I feel. I don't think I could hang with today. It's a paradise for voyeurs and exhibitionists. You're damn right, the real John Doe. It really is. MySpace, here's the thing. I do like watching people put on makeup. I do like that. I used to be really big into makeup. Now I don't put anything on my face, like no foundation or anything. Thanks, Retro Revival. I love you too. And Mamas and Papas. Meow. MySpace, the only thing, Ottawa, is that you remember how they changed it to where you had your top friends and then people started getting in fights about like who was in your top 8? I remember that when they started that, and it was like, so I was like, oh, this is the beginning of the end when you're ranking your friends. Tom, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Tom is like Zuck, you know. It's like they're plants. Nobody's coming up with this stuff in their parents' garages. It's like that's a pipe dream, you know. The older I get, the better I was. I mean, honestly, man, I don't want to be young. I'm good. I had my time. It's fine. I was hell on wheels. Nah. No found. Oh, well, I don't know about that Scientology audit, Ottawa, but thank you kindly. The way back and my brain went off. What, you talking about the MySpace stuff? I remember LiveJournal, man. Technically, if I was to do like one of those mind map things for like me and Janae, it would be that it all started from LiveJournal. Because that was like where people met when I was in high school. You know, that was how I met most of my friends. Because that was weird. You know, I didn't get along with the people at my high school. And yeah, falling in love or think you're falling in love with hoes on the internet. Damn shame. It's a damn shame. AOL, you've got mail. I listen to Latinas talk to fall asleep too, even though I can't understand what they're saying. I love the honesty glitch. I love the honesty. That's awesome. TikTok would be Millie Vanilli's dream. I'm 70 with the maturity of 12. I used to do role playing. It's how I met most of my friends. Are you talking about like costume? Like cosplay? Because I didn't do cosplay like in particular, but I used to go hard for Halloween. Like hard. I'll have to find some of my old pictures. I used to be pretty good at the makeup stuff, but now I just ask Jade what she wants to do, and it usually involves me wearing a leash, and I'm just like, okay, whatever you want. The You Got Mail guy just died recently, I think. The voice. Oh, well, see, now we're all getting too old. Nope, it was like HTML role-playing chat rooms. We made avatars and stuff and typed up novels. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Not mad about that. I remember, man, y'all remember them old chat rooms? I remember, like, being a kid. The first computer that we got in the house. And I'm like, I was very likely, I'm not the one committing a crime, but at that time, that was probably what was going on. I was just too young. You know what I mean? Online, I'm a very good cook. In reality, I fry bologna. Look, man, white trash, I've come up eating, you know, fried bologna and mayonnaise sandwiches sometimes, and sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. I found you through William Ramsey. You're a fantastic detailed researcher, top tier. Well, thank you so much, Angie. I appreciate that. And hello, Matrix Tech Solutions. Chatropolis was a cesspool of creeps. The name is interesting, Chatropolis. I was on the internet when it opened for business. I'm an old guy. Well, I mean, age ain't nothing but a number, John Doe. That's all I'm saying. But, I mean, I remember that back in the day. It blew my mind. I was out there just making friends with God knows who. Way too young to be on the internet. And now all this stuff with the phones and all that nonsense, I'm like, nah, I ain't with it. I ain't with it at all. What is everybody else doing on Saturday night? People coming in here and asking me questions. I'm gonna start asking you guys questions. Ottawa, you're not old. That's not old. Come on now. It's not old at all. Age ain't nothing but a number. I've seen people younger than me that are basically, you know, twice my age physically and vice versa. Looking for a horror movie. Trying to think. There's a show, I mean, it's not a movie, so I guess I'm not really helping. There's a show on MGM, like the subscription service. It's called From. Oh, so good. The storyline is so freaking good. I'm super into it, and I hated the first episode. I was like, Janae, this is gay. But now I'm absolutely obsessed with it. And new listener here, well, thank you so much, Linda Rose. I really appreciate that. Playing GTA, smoking weed, gang, gang. That's what's up. Hanging out with us. Okay, well, I guess we're all just gonna hang out. I turned 44 this year. You guys are all young. You guys are all young. Hate that trend. What trend? Mamas and papas. What you mean? What are the eyeballs for? I'm trying to think of another movie, because that was a show, so again, that's not helpful. I showed Janae The Platform recently. That's, it's not, I mean, it's kind of old. It's like 2019. It's in Spanish, but they have a dub and subtitle version. It's pretty rough. Speak No Evil. I don't know if I've seen that one. We already did that whole thing with, like, the French horror movies, so, you know, I'm not gonna list those off. I watched the, Soil Lodge had recommended it. The American Horror Story, New York City one about Crispo. I mean, it's basically like part of the Son of Sam that they just, you know, put into American Horror Story, which is completely atrocious to me, but I digress. I can't think of any good movies off the top of my head. Oh, there was one called Thanksgiving. Tim Dillon was in that one. I enjoyed that a lot. It was super corny, but I secretly am in love with Tim Dillon, so it is what it is. I didn't know he was gay for a while, and then when I found out, I literally cried. So, whatever. Bizarre Noid horror film recommendation, The Ninth Configuration, directed by William Blatt. Oh, it's directed by William Blatty? Noted. All right, I'm going to check that out. I think I've seen Mother of the Real John Doe. Hello, Geekadelic. I'm trying to think. Is that an A24 movie? If I'm thinking of the right one. Children of the Corn is creepy. Children of the Corn is creepy. Some people think that I look like one of the Children of the Corn. I've been watching true crime that happened in my city. Creepy that it happened around the corner of me. Have you seen Santa Sangre? It's a Mexican movie. Avant-garde type stuff. No, I have not. I have not heard of it. I'm old. Grew up in New York during Son of Sam. Scary times. Yeah. I mean, it's a real hellscape. Real nightmare. It is A24. I think I have seen it. I know what you're talking about. It's interesting that there's so many things out there that take from the ultimate evil but don't credit the ultimate evil, you know, and you don't find out until later, like the American Horror Story New York and The Deuce, obviously. There's a lot out there. It was a very strange time in history, for sure. Obviously, a lot more to be uncovered. Oh, A24 is the best. Who's the guy? Ari, no, I'm going to say it wrong. Ari Aster. He's the best. The best. I don't know if anybody watched that recommendation that me and Janae gave last time. There's something wrong with the Johnsons, but, you know, I'll stick with his A24 productions. That's more what I'm into. Vanilla Skies. I haven't seen Vanilla Skies. Don't judge me. Dana, have you read any of the 3 books of Sinister Forces by Peter Levenda about Manson and Project Artichoke? I have not. I have not read any of Peter Levenda's work. I am told more times than I can count that I need to read it, and I have not. So I will get around to it, but I don't know. He was he's a spook, right? He's a major spook. So obviously I have to keep that in mind. I think that's probably why I'm so hesitant. But I know that I should just give in and read it. because I will eventually. The original American Horror Story, oh, fantastic. And it touches on so much. It touches on the Dahlia. I can't even think of because it spans so many different time periods, that first season. All those different concepts. I feel like the first season was really like their piece de la resistance. Like, that was the best one. Hello, Horror Ween. And have you seen the newest Manson doc? Which one are you talking about, Mind My Blues? I don't know which one. No, original Vanilla Sky. I don't think I've seen anything that's Vanilla Sky. Sage advice, Dana, but very compelling book series. Oh yeah, for sure. Peter Levenda's a spook. Straight up. He's admitted to it, more or less. You know, it's like, won't confirm or deny, but I just happen to be around all this spooky activity. But I've heard that the books are very good. It just takes a bit of a spin at one point, and so that's interesting. I'm not going to ruin it for anybody, but hello, Leland, so nice to see you, and hello, Jenny Lee. They are talking about Peter Levenda. And yeah, exactly, Levenda's tied into the Podesta crowd, which is also super sus. Super sus. Because the Podestas are shady as fuck. Shady as fuck. What is that little girl that got snatched up? Madeline McCann? I think there's only one channel out there that talks about that stuff. And they're a pretty big channel. They've had Jaguar Ride on for the Diddy stuff. And yeah, not good. Not good. Not good at all. Making Manson, his phone calls. Is that the one, associate of former intelligence officers? Yes, Nixon Bogain, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's acknowledged that he's a spook. Making Manson, they just announced that. I didn't know that it was out already. That's about the phone calls confirming or alluding to his time in Mexico, right? That's what I read from the article that I saw recently. Because I'm still waiting for them to announce Tom O'Neill's limited hangout version. So, Vertical, what up, my dog, Nate? The series Penny Dreadful is fantastic, so underrated. Sorry, don't know what the subject is. I don't think I've seen Penny Dreadful. Isn't that a podcast as well? Yes, Martin Carson Atwood, Sean Atwood, right? They talk about the McCann stuff with Podesta. So, there's more weird, there's a lot more weird stuff with Podesta and Madeline McCann, and, you know, people get real weird about that kind of stuff. And it's like, I'm not out here saying that what is that stupid thing? I've never seen it. It's just what the cute people go with. Frazzle drip, you know, it's like, just pipe it down for 5 seconds and let's just, you know, get to reality. Yeah, I think that the Podestas were involved. I don't believe it is solved. Ottawa. Linda Rose, we're just hanging. We're just chilling out. So you could talk about whatever you'd like, and that's it. I'm just trying this. So it's gone well so far. I was waiting for like a bombardment of people to come in and be like, blah, blah, blah. Don't watch The Strangers Part 1, the remake. It stinks. Man, the original Strangers was so good. It spooked me out. Straight up. There's very few movies that scare me. Hello, Mr. Obvious. And Fraud's nephew live nearby, right? Yeah, I believe so. You're smart to not get lost in the weeds, Dana. I wish I was so humble as to not fall into every rabbit hole thinking I could dig my way out. Well, oh yeah, I have a panic attack before I go live. Every time. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a freaking hillbilly in the woods. Hey, what up, AJ? Gang, gang. What's up? Love back to you. Nice to see you. Hello, hello. I hope that your Saturday night is going well. I have a killer headache, so I gotta take some medicine. Let me see. Hello, James from Scotland. And he had the family over for soup. I think that that is the same person that I'm thinking of. Well, I do a really good job because I usually turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. Sometimes at the beginning of the day. And I literally am just like, I have to focus. It doesn't even matter what the topic is. I mean, ask Janae. Even when we do our, what do we call those? I can't even remember. Vibe check. I'll get real nervous before those, you know? Thank you. I appreciate it, Mr. Obvious. Thank you, Leland. Hell yeah, Hillbilly Proud. I do get really nervous. Oh, Hereditary is... Linda Rose. We would have a fantastic movie night. Hereditary is fantastic. I think that the score is fantastic. I also... Did I see Hereditary in movie theaters? I don't know if I did, but I saw... God, what is that one about the weird freaking cult? The dude ends up in the bear at the end. Midsommar. I saw Midsommar in theaters. Easy on the Tylenol. Your best haters will use it again. Haters will say that it's oxycodone. No, bitch. I shop at the Dollar Tree, ho. Okay, it's the exact same ingredients. Back and body. It's just saving me some money. These fools out here. These fools. Hereditary is on regular rotation over here. I love Hereditary. I mean, it's a good movie. It's very good. I haven't seen Long Legs. AJ's Life Jacket. If you have not heard of Parapower Mapping, it's a podcast. They are starting a series about Nicolas Cage, and apparently it's called The Cult of Long Legs, if you're into that. Let me see. I push record and I just go blank. Imagine me having nothing to say. Well, thank you, Meatball. I love you. Let me see. I'm curious if you were collecting evidence to do an expose on Notice Hammond. Just notice you post you in Gnostic informants, chats, etc. Well, I don't know if I've seen Wicker Man. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep up with everything. Yeah, if the intervention, if they want to come over here, you know. Hey, guess what? If they're going to come over here over Tylenol, that totally tracks that it's a bunch of Scientologists, right? Because they're going to be like, all you need is Dianetics to fix that headache and back pain. Psych. In regards to the Ammon Hillman stuff, I've touched on it briefly. I'm going to be honest. I'm very new to the topic. I'm not taking niacin. You are tripping, Ottawa. That is not happening. And keep vegetable oil away from me. I watched one podcast it was Danny Jones, and he had someone else on that was very similar to Ammon's sort of shtick. And, you know, my belief system, I thought that it was, hello, Miss McGillicuddy, thank you so much. I thought that the topic and the way that the guy presented it, and it wasn't Ammon, it was very interesting to me. And so I sat there and I was like, well, this might ruin my day or it might not, you know. But I listened with an open mind. And it just started to sound like Gnosticism to me, with technically like the Godhead being, or lack thereof, you know, wisdom, knowledge of all things. And then I listened to Ammon, and, you know, I have a pretty good rapport with Occult Examiner. I can't speak from experience as far as who's been in there, but I think that there's a lot of things in Ammon's, what I can find, research-wise, as far as Ammon goes, there are things that don't track as far as the reason why he says that he was kicked out of wherever he was doing his part-time or substitute teaching, his theological teaching. There's a lot of stuff that does not track. Plus, you know, he jokes about, like, his buddies that were, you know, coming out of West Point with him with the special projects under McCain, that, like, oh, like, a lot of them went into the CIA. I basically see Ammon as a modern-day Michael Aquino of the internet. And no worries. Yeah, no worries, Thaddeus Max. This is just my opinion. It's just very weird, and when someone goes from, I'm not saying that maybe he wasn't big before going on to Danny Jones, but it just doesn't seem organic, and it seems kind of planned. And I'm open to being wrong. I just think that some of the stuff that he says is completely wild, and I know of one person, one individual who is very well studied in Aramaic, Hebrew, and Greek. And obviously they are, you know, Orthodox Christian, I would say. They lean a bit Calvinistic. that they would be able to debate him hard and take his ass to task. And I want to reach out to him and be like, please try to debate this guy, because he says that, like, you know, he can't debate anybody on a scholarly level. And I know, I've seen this dude. He's an older man, but he knows his stuff. And obviously he would be coming from a more orthodox biblical side of things. But I just think that he could shoot Ammon a new asshole. What is on my bookshelf? Hello, Rebel. Well, everything. Everything and nothing. Everything and nothing. Thaddeus Max. Now I'm embarrassed because I can't think of it, and I'm really scared if I close this that it's not gonna work. I will find it. I will bookmark it. Hello, Crackhead Kenny. I'm trying your thing, man. Hello, Nanya. I wanted to try it. I said I was gonna try one. I made sure that Kenny wasn't on first. Thaddeus Max, I will try to find it, and I will put it somewhere. Because I would love for them to debate. As far as what's on my bookshelf, literally everything. I've got everything. I've got, you know, multiple bookshelves here. And yes, that is a little portrait of it's a little portrait of Jim Jones. And then there's a photo of my dog. Dog's ashes. Dog's ashes. Across. Aberration in the Heartland of the Real. Tom O'Neill's Limited Hangout Chaos. Trying to think. Got the Process book there. Love, Sex, Fear, and Death. I got all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. All kinds. Well, now I gotta try to go back in the chat without screwing it up. And we inside. I'm definitely inside. It's freezing outside. Hello, Tricky Woo. Archaics, Jason Brashears. I don't know who that is. Yo. Hello, Pyramid 7. Hello, SPT Never Ends and Artology Kelly. Some say that John Calvin was not an actual Christian and saw Christianity as a tool by which he could control others. His family changed their surname a lot. I think AP Gifts, I think that there's some interesting history there. And I think that it's an interesting conversation to have. Because while I have my beliefs and I don't push them on anybody, you know, I think that there is a lot of sus stuff with some of those characters from back in the day. And I'm just like, what were you guys doing? You know, it's all a little bit weird. So I don't really know. Let me see. God bless you, Jim Jones. Well, I mean, that was my first. It's my first, man. It's where I got into true crime, you know what I'm saying? True crime. Obviously, I'm anti that, but I'm not gonna throw it away. It's the Rev. It's the Rev with them aviators, man. And that's before I think he started doing the lewds, you know what I mean? Let me see. Jim Jones did have some badass sunglasses like Roy Orbison. Yeah, he did. Very cool library. Thank you. What does the tattoo above your eyebrows say? Oh, I guess it didn't mirror it. It says forgive. And then I've got a little cross here. And then I got a little heart there. I'm balls deep in true crime. It's my own base. I mean, I have a lot of true crime books here. I have the Revs with the Bevs. That's not right, but funny, Nathan Ward. I have Vincent Bugliosi's book on OJ, on the OJ case. So, you know, I have a lot of true crime books, but I also have a lot of history books because I like history, and honestly, I have a anointed theory that eventually, you know, everything's gonna get turned off, and I'm gonna need to stimulate my mind so that I don't go into full-blown dementia. Same here, from John Calvin to Cyrus Schofield to Dwight L. Moody to Billy Graham and more. They are all suspect and linked to Darbyites of Crowley fame. That's very interesting, AP Gifts. I think Billy Graham is a total charlatan. I've also got him tied up with the Process, so, you know, my Kill Bill sirens are going off there. Are you talking about Delphi, like in Indiana? Is that what you're talking about? Hello, Nacha Beeswax. Could you imagine Jim Jones talking on some lewds and amphetamines? Damn, dude, probably wouldn't shut up. Well, I mean, have you listened to the Jonestown tapes? Like, the end? Rough listen. Rough listen. Hello. Oh, hey, Roxy. What's up? What up? That's cool. And Delphi. Yeah, that whole case is I can't believe that they convicted him. I cannot believe that they convicted that dude. It's fucking crazy to me. Could not believe it. Well, thanks, Mediterranean diet. If you're disappointed, go ask my parents. I can assure you they're much more disappointed than anybody else. I can assure you of that. So, you live and you learn. Are Delphi and Idaho 4 connected to the process? I mean, I think that, you know, I don't know about the process. I think that there's a very strong argument. I think that there's absolutely more than one person involved in Delphi. Idaho 4, very good argument about drug trafficking. Possibly a Mexican cult, like a Santeria type cult. You know, there's a lot of weird stuff with both of those cases. But Richard Allen, it's beyond me. I don't think everyone's going to get turned off Mandela effect. Yes, they've got us by the short hairs. History rewritten thugs. They are still Branch Davidians in Waco, Texas. They didn't follow Koresh, but still keep the site open for tourists. Well, oh, hello, Miss Mercy Choke. Yes, I am. And hold on, geek. You look. Oh, well, thank you. If you know, you know. Just saying. I don't know if I'm reading that right. I hope that I am. What is my take on the John Bonet case? Well, they're coming out with a documentary about it. In my opinion, documentaries come out because people are asking too many questions about old cases, including the Zodiac. I'm going to be going on California with Todd Wood, not this coming week, but the next. And, I mean, we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, but you know, him and William Ramsey had an interesting discussion about the new Zodiac documentary, and it's never what it seems. It's just never what it seems. There's a massive cover-up in Delphi, and I think that there's a massive cover-up with John Bonet. I don't think that John Bonet is just one person either. Maybe one person, you know, committed that specific crime. I think that it took a village to manufacture the cover-up, and I've been trying to avoid that. Yeah, documentaries are the cleanup crew. Absolutely, they absolutely are. And the fact that they're coming out with another one, because you know, I have some people on Twitter that, you know, I've passed information back and forth with for some time. And they're in Colorado, and I lived in Colorado for a time when I was younger. But, you know, there's a lot of weird stuff that ties in with John Bonet, and there's just a line of information that goes to Columbine, and people look at me like I'm stupid. But, you know, there's lesser known books out here where there's interviews with locals, with family members, especially of, the chick that book was based on. She said yes, because they, like, shoved that down my throat when I was a kid after Columbine. And, you know, her family said that there was a cult that she was trying to get away from, you know. Nothing is ever what it seems. And I just think when they come out and, you know, do these documentaries, it is what it is, you know. I once dated the nephew of David Koresh. David's mom was stabbed to death by her sister. I went to the funeral. Roxy, that's wild. Okay. That's wild. Did he jam out? Was he as musically talented? Hello, Kalex. I'm making sure I'm not missing anybody. Yes, YouTube sucks. Casey Anthony, she is a hoe for the devil, straight up. And hi, love from, did getting the face ratio hurt? I saw a video as to where Burke, John Bonet's brother, did it, and the Ramseys covered for him. I mean, that's a theory, and I don't think that it's a bad theory. There's that one kid that they found. I can't remember all the details of it, and I apologize, but I remember that there was a young guy, and when his house was raided, there was a Disney movie And he had recorded over the VHS just in the middle, and it was all the stuff that was on the news about John Bonet. And he had some weird, inappropriate stuff in his place. Including like some type of special boot that matched some footprints. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've looked at it. I just don't think that it's so black and white. I'm not too sold on the brother. I do think that the parents probably helped cover it up. Didn't dad work for Lockheed Martin? You know, it's just kind of weird. Kind of weird. Let me see. Oh yeah, Columbine. No, no. I ran into Casey Anthony and her parents. Well, Casey Anthony is a damn mess. She is a damn mess. I'm like, in the stupid documentaries that they do about that now. I'm just like, stop. Why are y'all out here using a lie detector test? We know that it's not real. We know that. They don't work. Ed Edwards did it. Is that the guy that gets blamed for everything? Is that guy? Let me see. The She Said Yes parents are frauds. Cassie Bernal was not the girl who said yes. She hid while another girl said yes. And Matthew Shepard's mom are frauds. Matt's one killer was an ex-lover. Oh. Well, AP Gifts, I hope that you'll leave a comment or something so I can check out your page, or if you have a Twitter, or find my email, because I haven't looked at Matthew Shepard in a long time, and again, I have not looked at like the Columbine stuff in a hot minute. Basically because I refuse, because the Process had their clown ministry pretty prominently in Colorado, and I don't want to think about that because, well, the stuff with Gacy and John Norman, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. Oh yeah, I read She Said Yes in middle school. Got it at my religious school's book fair. Man, they shoved that down our throats. You graduated in 01. I feel old. You're not old. Shut up. You're only a couple years older than me. I feel old. I am old. I am old. I'm geriatric, technically. Based on today's medicinal standards, I am geriatric. Fleet White, North Fox Island. Fleet was the first person John calls. Well, you guys want me to have a stroke on here? It's probably what's going to happen. I would never trust a guy with the same name twice. 01, I feel ancient. You guys aren't old. Stop. Here's one from left field. Ever looking into the death of Carol Baskin's husband or into Joe Exotic's conviction? I think that the stuff with all of that has some weird stuff to do with like weapons trafficking and drug trafficking. I think that whole thing was a psyop, because I'm sorry, and I know that word is overused, but y'all got to keep in mind, I was working in the hospital during COVID, right? So it's chaos and people are dying and it's nuts, and like you go home and all you watch is Joe Exotic, and that's what everybody's talking about. That's all I'm saying. It seemed weird in hindsight. Very, very weird. Yes, my email is listed in the info section of my page here. Yes. That was weird. I remember night shift, and we'd be, it'd be like quiet. You're not supposed to say quiet. That's the cue word for something bad to happen. But, people would be like, who did what with what, or blah, 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 blah. And we'd be like, that bitch Carol Baskin, So that was weird. But I can only speak from my perspective. It was very weird. Have I ever considered writing a book about satanic cults? Because I am in possession of an ancestor's journals that if I were ever to release, I'd want it to be someone like you. I inherited them. Well, Mercy Choke, I don't want to answer that inappropriately. I might reconsider it now. I've thought about writing. I've tried to start like writing a blog post, and I stare at the screen and hate myself. And graduated in 74. Still not old. Sorry, Jeff. Still not old. Age ain't nothing but a number. Hello, Mr. Alex. And Digital Connected Media. New here. You investigate cults and hate groups. I also investigate, like, mob nonsense. Which, I mean, the Mafia is a cult. The history of pornography, which is, I'm sure I'm going to lose a lot of people over that. but I kind of cover everything, but I'm known as the process chick, right? The process researcher. I honestly would hang out with Joe Exotic, though. Don't get me wrong, guy looks fun. I'm just saying. I think that there's a lot of drugs, a lot of the slopes, you know what I mean? Maybe some weird stuff with the animals too, because remember that other dude that they interviewed that had the fancier place? That dude was running that weird little cult. Just wanting to ask, do you know if the Process Church have any connection with pedophile groups such as NAMBLA? Well, God, what is that guy's name? Somebody help me. Allen Ginsberg, right? Isn't Allen Ginsberg NAMBLA? And William Burroughs, isn't he NAMBLA? And that really weird doctor, the weird doctor that's tied in with the Son of Sam stuff that did the AIDS research and the mad cow disease research, he was also into NAMBLA. I found him on NAMBLA's website. Let me see. I love mob stuff. The Cuban fella who was dealing tigers with Joe Exotic was the character basis for Scarface. Easy way to hide drug trafficking. No one wants to search a tiger cage. That is very true. That is a high risk. You're only old if you get out of bed, hear snap, crackle, and pop, and haven't put milk on anything. Well, then, I mean, yeah, I'm old. I know. I'm, you know, I'm always cracking and popping. Your vertical is kind of rocking. Oh, well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. Process is in Scientology. Yes, that process. The process. The process Church of the Final Judgment, aka Best Friends Animal Society, because they are the same thing. Gadusek. Thank you, Dave Steege. Yes, Gadusek was NAMBLA. So there's a few ties. Let's see. Are you aware there is also a sick push to legalize pedophilia and CSAM as well? There is a professor by the name of J. Michael Bailey, James Cantor, and Ray Blanchard pushing this as well. Hello, Zaralath. Yeah, Allen Ginsberg is NAMBLA. I thought so. I mean, everybody's trying to push it. Unfortunately, Mr. Alex, it's just a sign of the times. Yes, Dr. Carlton Gadrusek. I think I shared something on Twitter. It was... somebody had posted like a TED Talk where they were talking about, oh, you know, it's just a state of being in their head. We've got to come to terms with it as a society. And I think it was the Rene Gruyon Society back in the 80s. They were established in the 60s. And they said that CSAM was the sign of the coming age of enlightenment. So I don't really know what to tell people. You know, I don't agree. I think it's garbage. But I have done AP gifts. One of my oldest videos is on John Money. I don't get into the Canadian twins, but I did tie John Money to the False Memory Syndrome Foundation. So that's, you know, I've digital block. Okay, I won't say anything to anybody. Let me see. Most of my old stuff is false memory, those type of doctors, and yeah, I mean, John Money was consulting for the False Memory Syndrome Foundation. Okay, tell me it's not a cover-up. Are the FFRF or Church of Satan involved in helping expose Scientology? They're the only two with lawyers to battle. What's the FFRF? And are you talking about the Church of Satan, or are you talking about the Satanic Temple? Digital connected media. Yeah, Ginsberg is trash. I'm not old, but I am in my villain Mima area. Stop it. And hello, Occult Examiner. Have you tied in Rick James yet, Dana? No. No, not yet. I know. I know. I know that there's lingerings. Already tied in Bill Cosby a little bit. I don't really want to talk about it. Sure thing, AP Gifts. It's some of my oldest stuff. So if you sort the lives by old, they're very ghetto. Not good. Haven't been doing this a long time. That's all I'm saying. Never claimed to be an expert. Same as Theodore Roos. When you get a minute, Google him and let me know if you might be interested. Okay. All right, Mercy Choke. I will absolutely do that. John Money is from New Zealand. Yeah, well, John Money's trash. Dr. Money is human garbage. Freedom from Religion Foundation, and yes, the Temple. Well, the Temple's part of the process. That's why they're not exposing Scientology. The Satanic Temple has a fucking e-meter. Excuse my French, it's not directed at you. The Satanic Temple has an e-meter, or as the process would call it, a P-scope. I've gotten into quite a few public riffs with the head of the Satanic Temple, the spokesperson, Dougie Lucian. He's a prick, and yeah, he knows exactly what's up. They will never, they will never, him nor his buddy Josh Zeman. Let me see. I talked to younger women in their 20s dating dudes who haven't had internet pornography. They're just not interested in physical relations. It's pretty sad knowing the origins makes sense. Hello, AZ Crimson. Yeah, well, you know, it's, sorry, Echo Cat, I had to approve your message. Yes, Doug is gay. Doug, Lucy, and Dougie. Hold on. The porn stuff is sad. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, Whitney Webb and, like, technocracy, she is right. If they want everybody beating their meat at home by themselves, you know, that's what they want. Hopefully I said hello, AZ Crimson, and the Sammy Davis Jr. tie to Satan surprised me. He was friends with Michael Aquino. He was friends with the late Lieutenant Colonel Obsessivist Dr. Michael Aquino of the Temple of Set. Yeah, so, I mean, it is what it is. They were all getting real weird back then. Opinions on Hunter S. Thompson and Johnny Depp. Major limited hangout, especially since I found out that, you know, technically Hunter S. Thompson is an Essalon boy. So, I mean, I think that his writings are good. Johnny Depp, nope. His thing with Damien Eccles and Marilyn Manson and that whole Neo Process crew, because let's not forget, guys, the OG Process confirmed to me during their gang stalking campaign against me that, you know, there is a Neo Process. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Fred. We appreciate that. Thank you for the confirmation. Doug has no social skills. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He has literally no social skills at all. I can't believe that he is a spokesperson of anything, including himself. Let me see. Interesting, thanks for that information. Oh, well, no worries. You're very welcome. It gets worse. Are you aware that, well, yeah, I mean, you know, Mr. Alex 789, people are going to find excuses for anything. They're going to use anything as an excuse. It's very unfortunate. And, you know, people have to, you know, kind of take action where they see fit. I think that the more that, and, you know, Echo Cat's helping and Dare to Defy, the more that we peel back the layers of the onion of pornography and what is hailed as, you know, the heroes of pornography and First Amendment rights, it's really unfortunate how many pederasts and pedophiles are involved in that and how history has been rewritten to justify a lot of that. So I think that it's a worthwhile venture, but I mean, y'all know me, I'm all about that history. The only thing that I will do, like, modern day stuff for is Dougie, Doug, and that kind of stuff. That's the only thing that I'll do modern day stuff for. Eventually, I will come on and talk about Alex Jones and Scientology and RFK. Eventually, I will. But we gotta let the political nonsense die down, because I'm not getting banned over those clowns. And yes, Johnny Depp runs with the Neo Process crowd. That is absolutely right. Not sure how you feel about Psychic, but Sloan Bella stated Scientology is a satanic organization. She's pretty accurate with the Diddy stuff. Don't know who she is, but some people call it Satantology, and I don't disagree at all. You know, I have a lot of strong feelings about it, and it's not like the Aleister Crowley's hiding under every rock. It's, I know what the process is, and they're the same thing. Neo Process is basically like the modern day process, like, you know, the newer factions. I have a PowerPoint that I'm working on to put together to show you guys, like, the Vector Gallery as a good example of that. Desert Rain brought that forward. Operation GCD talked about it on Occult Rejects one time when we were on there talking about this stuff. And, I mean, the pictures are wild. And this dude, I think he was, like, the speechwriter for Kissinger. at one point, or his boss was. There's a lot of weird ties from Henry Kissinger to the process, which is really disturbing to me. But thank God that, well, I'm not going to say thank God he's dead, but you know I'm right, and so does the devil. So, there were people in Hollywood doing things, and they are unknown. Yes, that's very true. Does Doug have a genetic defect, a blind eye, or is that a contact lens? Well, from what I've heard, something happened. And I don't know what it was that happened, and he doesn't like to talk about it. And I'm only a dick to him about his eye because he's a dick to me. That's all. If he would debate me like a man and come with receipts instead of going, go in your Netflix documentary, conspiracy theorist, because he can't refute me. And then he sends his little satanic Thadianas to come after me and troll me. It's like, no. We're not going to do this. Plus him coming down here right by me to get a dog. Okay, Doug. All right. Let me see. What about P. Diddy? Everybody's talking about P. Diddy. I mean, I talked a little bit about the stuff. I mean, I think that there's some smoke there with J-Lo. J-Lo and Leah Remini and that weird PI firm. But I talked about that, and that ties into the Long Island serial killer. So, you know, I think that there's some weird stuff there. Neo process, hopefully that helped, as far as it's not a great explanation, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's just like more I can't even say it's a splinter group. They all believe the same thing. Humanity is the devil. That's the point. Hold on, I gotta wet my whistle. Like, I don't hate this. It just feels a little bit more invasive, if you know what I mean. Hunter S. Thompson gets a mention in Paul Bonacci's testimony. He does. Paul Devins. I have mixed feelings about it, but there's a really interesting, I don't know if it's a section from a book or if it's just an interview of someone who was working with Hunter S. Thompson pretty closely for a couple of years up until the time he died. He didn't sound like the greatest person, so I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't know. I want to know. Because somebody tagged me in something on Twitter, and it was Johnny Gosh's mom had posted in a Facebook group that they figured out who the colonel was, and it was not Aquino, it was John Norman. But she didn't say who told her that specifically, and I'm very curious. I'm very curious. Let me see. And, all right, was Hugh Hefner a part of all this? Oh, yeah, absolutely, in his own way. Hugh Hefner, I found this really old documentary. He called himself Kinsey's pamphleteer. So, Kinsey was a pedophile. Kinsey was a pederast and a pedophile. Kinsey was a disgusting human being. But, yeah, he called himself Kinsey's pamphleteer. So, no, Hunter's a great writer. I'm not hating on that. I think that Paul Bonacci stuck around because I think Nick Bryant even interviewed him for his book. I worked at the club in LA Johnny Depp owned where River Phoenix died. I feel like that was a setup. Also, a Scientologist used to sell tickets for the shows there. Scientology and the process is the tie that binds. It is always the tie that binds. And that's not me being paranoid or blaming it on them. It just seems to be the thing that people don't want to talk about. You know what I mean? And Hugh said that he was influenced by Alfred Kinsey. Yep, that's absolutely right. What is the chances of Hillman having something to do with the process stuff? Well, I don't know. But if that's the case, I'll go full Britney this way. And I'll shave my head. Because I've shaved my head before. Not all the way. But I had a mohawk. But if that's the case, I'll do it. I'll do it. And I'll just start a second channel where I just lose my mind, right? I'll just completely lose it. Gilgo reminds me of SOS, sex workers, not kids. I agree, Maisie-ish. I agree. I think that all of that stuff, I think that the stuff with was the former chief of police or one of those former detectives and films that were maybe seen, not seen, and Man, isn't it convenient that Josh Zeman just shows up to shitcoat the investigation, for the public in particular, right? That way people aren't pressing. Yeah, that's why I'm not a fan of that lawyer dude and his little researcher running around. Nah, I'm good on all that. You're right, Scientology is an offshoot of the Agape Lodge, which is an offshoot of the OTO in Thelema, Hubbard, Parsons, Cameron, and Northrop. Yes, that's very true. I've seen so much similarities to my MK research. Let's see. I didn't know you went in on him about his eye. I just noticed something is wrong with it and wondered if he was wearing that contact for effect. It was in Norman's police report, Jenny Lee. That was in Norman's police report. About Bonacci? Huh. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Doug is a dick. Dougie. Sorry, I just, makes my eye twitch. William Morrison of Skinny Puppy Process album and the Satanic Temple confirmed in a podcast that he is the go-between from the original process and the neo process. Bada boom, bada bing. Correct, correct, correct. Correct. Yep. These are facts. No, what? What, Kenny? What do you say no to? Sorry to ask again, but did Hugh Hefner or the Playboy Mansion tie into all of this? It was reported he had Linda Lovelace at his mansion for some weird party and she was drugged out of her mind. Probably. I mean, you know, how much can you prove after the fact? I mean, what? The tunnels are underneath Hugh Hefner's house, right? And when Cosby was getting accused of certain things, it was things that happened at the Playboy Mansion, right? In the grotto or whatever. And Linda Lovelace was the star of Deep Throat, which was the, you know, process mafia porno movie. So, yeah, I think that Hugh Hefner's involved in a lot of it. And what was that? Operation Baby Lift? There's just, I think that there's so many things that they've tried to hide, or they hope that, like, people won't make the connections or notice the connections or make these, you know, observations of like, hey, what the fuck, right? Like, does anybody think it's kind of weird that they made that Kinsey movie, right? That's weird. They had, I can't even remember who starred in it, but it was this whole movie about Kinsey, and it's like, okay, not going to talk about what he was really doing, right? See what I mean about like rewriting history? It's super sus. Behind the green door. I don't know what that is. Never in all my studies has anything but Crowley ever even alluded to pedo stuff. However, there are many pedo authors from the past whom the Satanists love. Z-Man is inserting himself into Gilgo. Yeah. Yes. Yes, the Long Island serial killer. Yes. He's all up in it. I think, which one is it? The one with, I got Leah Remini and the Gilgo dude and David Berkowitz. Fear and Loathing on Staten Island, in Staten Island, whatever. People give me such a hard time about grammar. I'm like, fuck, sit on it and rotate. But I show it in there where, yeah, absolutely. Like, Zeman's running around like, definitely just one guy. And I'm like, okay, right? Just like the process didn't have a program at Willowbrook. River Phoenix grew up in the Children of God cult. Yes, he did, and the Children of God is directly linked to the process. That I have already confirmed. That video you did about research was amazing. Well, thank you so much, Ramalama. I appreciate that. And shaving my head. Well, I mean, you know, it's just, I'd be like, here we go, guys. Sealing my fate. Sealing my fate of dying alone. And also looking more felonious, because you can see the tattoo right there. The neo process is just the old process, yes, and it's all just running around in circles. No, one of Norman's aliases on the report was listed as Colonel. Oh, interesting. It's a tunnel boss. I love that saying, and I still don't know what it means. Sup, Crow Media. And Johnny Depp didn't own the Viper Room when I worked there, but there's a weird hole in the closet that leads to the stirred area that goes underneath the club. Rick Rubin. Process Rick Rubin. You don't say, Illumed Journey. Imagine that. Rick Rubin had Tom O'Neill on not that long ago. Isn't it funny that Tom O'Neill would go on a Process podcast? Yeah. Amanda Seyfried played Linda Lovelace. She is an advocate of best friends. Shut the fuck up, Gina G. I'm I'm so over these people. I am so over these people. It is not even funny. I'm no longer having a good time. I would like off of this ride. Do you think the intelligence agencies let pedo stuff happen for intel blackmail, or pedos use the intelligence agencies so they can be pedos? Well, Peter Simpson, it's been confirmed. I'm trying to think. God, what was that guy that left the agency? Fuck. It wasn't that long ago either. He had a really long name. Damn it. I cannot think of the guy's name, but I mean, yeah, he was like, yeah, absolutely, we use kids to compromise people. Absolutely. I think it's a beneficial situation for both sides. You know, that's why I tell people blackmail makes the world go round. Because it does. It was Liam Neeson. Okay, that's what I saw in my head, but I didn't want to disparage the man. Not that he's ever going to see me. About Hugh Hefner and Alfred Kinsey. Was he a member? Well, I don't know if they were members. I have no idea. I won't go into detail, but there was a German Shepherd at the party and some bad stuff went down with Linda. That was what was alleged in the Playboy documentary on Hulu. Well, Kill Bill sirens. Whoop, 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 whoop. German Shepherds. Okay. Okay. All right. That tracks. Tracks for me. Tracks for me. No worries, Mizzy Jean. And I knew River and the family were raised in some child sex cult, but has no idea it was attached to Scientology. So the Children of God is technically separate, but, and man, I haven't talked about the Children of God in a really long time. But they were being investigated by the New York Attorney General in 1974, and that was when I found them pairing up with the process. Now, keep in mind, like, in this investigation, the Attorney General confirms all the incest, pedophilia, pederasty, all that stuff, and the process is like, they're being persecuted. Come on. Come on. Plus, also, like every other group, you know, this random cult, they can just travel all over the world and they have ungodly amounts of money that no one can find. And they're not getting punished, right? Seems like they're being protected by the government. Yeah, they're also probably getting blackmail on people. You know what I mean? Jim Harwood, hello Dana. The Green Door, referring to Thoth and the Emerald Tablet. Oh, I think I've seen some stuff about the Emerald Tablet. That's like some alien stuff, right? Like some UFO stuff. A UFO cult, yeah. Felonious indeed. I have no idea how far behind I am. How about this? I'm gonna scroll all the way down and catch up, and we're gonna go from there. I'm skipping those questions. I'm sorry if you gotta retype them. Let's see. Meta Diet. She was on Passion Soap Opera. That was wild. Don't know what you guys are talking about. Now I'm caught up. I'm not gonna sit there and keep trying to catch up. I'm not even gonna touch the damn screen. I'm gonna have to get faster. This probably won't become a regular occurrence. So, you know. Boo. Hello. It's definitely a symbiotic relationship. Government and chomos. You damn right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It is symbiotic. A lot of greasing of palms, kissing babies, shaking hands, you know what I mean. Children in Chains is a good book that mentions all chomo rings active in the 70s, and Thieves Di Bernardo and more. Oh, well, damn. See, I've been looking for, like, some sort of factual book about that. So, somebody write that down and holla at me, please. Thank you. Do you know if the process still has connections or ties in Yucatan, Mexico? That I don't know. I'm not sure. Ed Sanders was, you know, exploring an angle regarding ancient artifacts that were being stolen, and there was evidence of multiple ritual sites at these old temples where they said it was very obvious. Some of them you could see that animals and or people were being, you know, sacrificed. And it seemed that he was looking into that angle as far as the process's involvement, because it matched with the timeline. But, you know, according to Maury Terry and Ed Sanders, the New York Police Department had the full INS file, the full Immigration Services file, which is Really unfortunate. Gotta wonder what happened to it, right? Because I would imagine that, good night, glitched. I hope that you have a good night. I would imagine that, that old wheat is probably gonna leave her, boxes of files to, Josh Zeman, since she knows that he's a good little boy. Good little boy, and that nothing's gonna happen. Oh, I was talking about the Andrea True project earlier. Don't even get me started. She's a Processian, FYI. You look like an English actress named Haley Mills when she was younger. That's interesting. To be honest, the format for a stream is nice. Nice for a change. Oh, well, thank you. And hello, CJB. And William McGrath. I have no idea what you guys are. Whitney Webb. Yeah, well, I'm just gonna let you guys chat for a second. Wet my whistle. Man, y'all are a lot to keep up with, man. Damn. Y'all be asking some good questions. I'm gonna have to come back here in the chat. You already know. You already know that that's who Wheat is leaving her files with. You already know. I'm sorry. I'm fully sold on that. So, and I'm not saying like that something bad's gonna happen to her. Time comes for us all, Wheat. Trust me, you ain't special. And who knows, I could get hit by a truck tomorrow, but better believe she knows that old Joshy boy is going to toe the company line. I have an ex that was invited backstage after a Marilyn Manson gig in Australia and was paid to do a headstand naked in front of Manson and Johnny Depp. Random. Well, they're they are Processians, and they're also real fucking vile, so I don't know, I have strong feelings about those two, especially Marilyn. Behind the Green Door was one of the more brutal movies of the time. Dana with Linda. Oh, okay. All right. Noted. I will have to look that up. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm kind of curious how much money, too. They give her a lot of money to do that ball? I mean, I can't do a handstand. I got a big ass head. I'll topple over. Like a reverse bowling pin. Did you see the footage of the White House Halloween party? Oh yeah, I saw that panda costume, and, you know, the Q folks were going wild. They were going wild. Wild. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. But, you know, I've been telling y'all, Trump been feeding that in. Wandering bishops. What about them, Flexotronify? There are many wandering bishops. I would argue that a couple wandering bishops just went to see David Berkowitz a couple of months ago. Manson's a freak, and I'm sad I used to like his music. I mean, art is art, you know? You like art. You like music. You don't know. You know what you know at the time. And these things never come out immediately. Can you do a show on all the kids that have disappeared in one small area of Ohio recently? Well, here's the thing, AP Gifts. I'm not opposed to it. I will always take information. I just don't usually cover new things because I have like 85 PowerPoints, and I'm not exaggerating. I literally have like 85 PowerPoints that aren't even done yet. There's so much to unravel, but I am very interested. I would be curious to look. You said that he didn't pay or anything? Oh, I never asked. I was pretty irked by it. Well, I don't blame you. I would have walked over there and bitch slapped Manson, quite frankly. Let me see. And Geraldo Rivera's first breakthrough interview was with a porn star who eventually married Linda Lovelace's insane abusive husband, but she liked being in porn, so she liked him. Well, you know, wherever Geraldo goes, chaos follows. You know, I think that he's put in places to shitcoat things, including Willowbrook. I would argue that him and Oprah gave the late Lieutenant Colonel Obsessimus Dr. Michael Aquino, I think that they allowed him to recruit on their shows. It's very unfortunate. But these are just my feelings, because, you know, literally, even back then, dude looked like Count Chocula. it's a joke. And then the older he got, he just looked like chubby Count Chocula. But, you know, it's all this higher level of thinking. And then, of course, like, that's where Dougie gets it, like, the reconciliation of opposites. But, you know, they're totally recruiting on those shows. I don't think that Geraldo's a serious person whatsoever. Just another Jerry Springer. Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. Is any credible witness in jail besides DB that ties SOS crimes with the process? Well, that's, I gotta read that question again because now somebody else is asking about Rick Rubin. Is any credible witness in jail besides DB that ties SOS crimes with the process? In jail? Is there anybody in jail? I don't know. No, he's dead. There's a few people that are alive that are not in jail. So, I used to date this guy who was signed to Rick Rubin's label. He ended up being a drug-addicted narcissist. It would be great if you did the Ohio Topic show. You and William Ramsey could collaborate on it. It seems like one of those smiley face situations almost. I would be happy to look at it. And, you know, William Ramsey obviously has a much bigger platform. So, I would be happy to also pass it along to him as well. My dad said he met Aquino before. He said he was introduced as a doctor. When he was in, what was it, Fort Knox? Where he was at, same time as Burwitz. He was presenting himself under a different name. It's really weird. I'll have to go back and pull up that article. It was very bizarre. And they was like, oh, it's for protection. It's like, well, powerful Satanist, what do you need protection for? Oh, hell, it was before I met her. That would have been a rep. Oh, okay, Paul Devine. All right, that makes sense that you weren't there. Okay. Oprah and Geraldo really seem to have provided that Aquino guy with worldwide free advertising and recruitment. Yeah, absolutely. That's all they were doing. They were giving them a voice. It's a joke. Especially when Aquino's, like, intimidating that one guy on, I think it was Oprah. And the kid's, like, shaking, talking about, like, a human sacrifice. And he's like, where's the proof? Did you call the police? Where's the body? This is preposterous. This is all conspiracy theories and Christian extremists. And it's like, and you can see the kid's, like, got tears in his eyes. And I'm just like, you ain't gonna pull that shit with me. There's a motorcycle club hangout across the street from the Viper Room. Interesting. Rick Rubin, Johnny Depp, MC hangouts. Well, I think Rick Rubin's a full-blown processian. That also ties into 9 Inch Nails, you know what I mean? Of all these different culture groups, I see a sense of sameness in the fact there were many tunnels. This is the year of the tunnel, baby. We're asking these questions. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Don't let it die. We're running out of time. Running out of time. The year's coming to an end. It's the year of the tunnel, baby. We're asking tunnel questions. We're asking. Buddy. Let me see. I hate how easy they have plausible deniability. Sick of it. Well, you know, they do that on purpose. They do it on purpose. That's just how it goes. It's set up that way. There's always enough distance so that if something does go down, they can play dumb. And that's why there's always a fall man, like Manson, like Burwitz, like Gacy, like Dean Corll. I would argue like Michael Thieves, just because Michael Thieves was a complete buffoon with his money, you know. And let me see. It's a tunnel boss. I still love that saying, and I don't know what it means. It's a tunnel boss. Gang. Word. Let me see. And Jason Bardo X. Meatball, I'll leave you to handle that as you see necessary. Thanks for putting me onto Ed's books. Got a pre-lawsuit edition and halfway through. Entertaining writer. That's awesome, Paul Devine. Or Paul Devins. He's a great writer. I think he's super funny. And he's super anointed. Some of his words are really silly. But I do enjoy his work. I think he's a very creative person. Trent Reznor is uber creepy. Trent Reznor's process too. Hillman has the Hive server set up that way. What's the Hive server? What is that? I gotta look into the Rick Rubin thing more. Yeah, I think that there's a lot to dig into with Rick Rubin and the process and Skinny Puppy and all of that. Well, Trent, Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails, he bought the door to Cielo Drive. Like, Trent Reznor bought that door. I think he was there with Genesis, it was Genesis Peorage. I think that they were recording something there. Like, I'm just saying. And I like old Nine Inch Nails. I think you just have to be a responsible listener. But there's also the Nine Inch Nails weird smiley face killer thing. Just saying. Just saying. Thoughts on David Geffen? Can't speak too much to it because I haven't like really focused too hard on the music industry, the current. But now you guys have got my wheels spinning, so now I'm going to have to. I know that David Geffen is sus AF. Jason Bardo, I was just saying that to you because as long as you are respectful to Tiffany Washington, then we good. Pew Orage, yeah, Genesis Pew Orage was garbage. But, you know. We haven't seen Fred, our friend Fred, in some time, have we? I don't know where he went. I know that the last time that he came in here ruffling feathers, he got quite a spanking, and that's how we got confirmation that there is, in fact, a Neo process. So, hey, I'm out here doing something. The Discord server is where he has sent everyone and has close to 3,000 members. Oh, God, 3,000 people on Reddit and Discord? What a hellscape. Just kill me. Just kill me. David Geffen, Gay Mafia. Jamie Deluxe has a video on David Geffen. I have not watched this Jamie Deluxe person that people keep telling me to watch, but I am subscribed to him. I just haven't watched it. So that's interesting. I will check him out because I've heard nothing but good things. Lots of cults on Discord. Well, no thanks. Trent Reznor produced the Lost Highway soundtrack with David Lynch. Does Lynch have process ties as well? I don't know. I can't say one way or the other. But Lynch's artwork freaks me out. It's not that I don't enjoy it. And I don't automatically put someone in a process category. There's just certain trends that you'll start to see. And, you know, it's like with Rick Rubin, it's like Skinny Puppy, Nine Inch Nails, you know, Trent Reznor, the whole, like, Pig, the door thing from Cielo Drive, the stuff with Genesis Peorage, you know, you've got Madeline Manson literally saying that he's a member of the process. So, it's kind of all over the place. I can't promise you on John Waters, because John Waters was a member of the process at one point, Xenu Ted. I apologize. That's a confirmed fact. He admits it in the documentary Sympathy for the Devil. He claims that he was only there for a little bit, but I have stuff in Ed's files that might state otherwise. So I tell people no. Try no heroes. Try. Recently been checking out that Jack Cruz guy who is associated with Rick Rubin. He seemed to come out of nowhere and also got a bump from Danny Jones. Well, I don't know who that is. I don't know who Jack Cruz is. Lynch is tied to the Transcendental Meditation movement, which has its own problems. Brian, are you wild? Is that what the tattoos are all about? Am I wild? David Lynch. Oh, well, look, see, y'all are, look at that. You guys are tying all that stuff together with these other cults. Who else do we got? As far as am I wild, well, I don't know. I was wild as a child. My face tattoo wasn't my first, but like I said, ask my parents. They're more disappointed than anybody. I feel like I'm associated with the church I don't know. Which church you don't know? And Danny has a lot of interesting people on there, mostly men, wondering why. You know, it's... No, Xenu Ted, you can love whoever you want. I have nothing to say about Lynch. I don't know enough. And I'm not disparaging Waters at all. It's just, you know, it is what it is. And people are allowed to enjoy things. That's why I tell people, I'm not going to tell you what to watch, what to think, what to believe. I'm not going to push my beliefs on you. Do you think that I'm throwing away Maggot Brain and Funkadelic? No, you're fucking high. That's not happening. Nope. Not happening. There are things that I will not allow people to ruin. They're not going to ruin everything for me. Let me see. Oh, Bernardo Homolka. Man, I haven't looked at that in a long time. In a long time. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't looked at that in a really long time. Johnny Depp, Damien Eccles seems more like a couple than like brothers they claim to be. Per Jesse, Damien and Jason were playing. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, that whole West Memphis 3, I'm like, they did it. Come on now. They did it. Come on. That whole thing is a joke. I'm convinced Dolly was a pre-LaVey Satanist. Maybe. Maybe. Who was it that Echo Cat pointed out recently? Madame Toops? That one of them old witches down in NOLA, down in the bayou. She helped Anton LaVey set up the church. So it wasn't just him. They were getting that voodoo on, yeah? Maggot Brain is absolutely the best. It slaps 100%. Let me see. The Surrealists are my favorite. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. How long have I been going? Holy shnikes. An hour and 20 minutes. Well, what time is it? It's 9:15. I guess I'll just keep going until I gotta go to the bathroom or something, right? Or until people just start walking away or exiting out of here, because I have no idea how laggy this is. Or if Janae gets home from work. I have a few options. Madame LaVey. Madame LaVey. I'm still pissed off at Xena for pulling that BS on Jordan Peterson. So gay. So gay. Andres Serrano might be process friendly. I have no idea who that is, and I don't know if Dolly was part of the Hell's Fire Club. I watched Sympathy for the Devil and had no clue what I was watching. I did think that if I was a Rolling Stones fan, I would have been extremely disappointed. What was I missing with that strange doc? That was a process doc. That's all that was. It was all about the process, but it was a major, major, major limited hangout. It was very sympathetic. No criticism. No real criticism. Even when they talk about, like, the rape game. They're like, oh, we were young and we were silly and we don't know what we were thinking. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because Charles Manson talked about the rape game, too. In detail. So, you know, I don't buy any of that. And obviously it's, you know, they were persecuted Satanists. Ooh, we're being persecuted. Blah, whatever. It's just completely foolish. I looked up Lovelace the film and James Franco played Hugh Hefner. Okay. Cool. James Franco, the Processian. Cool. James Franco, who's not from the East Coast, who was actually raised and from Palo Alto. James Franco. With the best friends advocate. Ugh, my Kill Bill sirens, they're going off all the time. Dana, do you know of any links to Dolly, Hodel, Ray, and Black Dahlia? I haven't dug into Black Dahlia yet, but I do intend to. Obviously, that's a little bit of a different timeline, but, you know, I haven't talked about the Zodiac very much because I know there's a lot out there about the Zodiac, and I'm not into the message boards or anything like that. I don't want to take from anybody else's work. I kind of want to see what I can find. So I guess some props from that Todd Wood guy. He's very versed on the Zodiac. I showed him my map and he was like, this map is pimp. And I said, word, thank you. So I'll show that. That's about Carl Denaro. Specifically after DB told him that he shot him. Well, you know, I think that Ed Edwards did it. Yeah, James Franco is a PDF file. Is that Jim Jones on the wall behind you? That is the Rev. That is the Rev. Yep. I will never, ever say a disparaging word about Carl Denaro. Stop it, Operation JCD. I will never say anything disparaging about Carl. Carl has been nothing but really kind and respectful to me, and I think that people tend to forget that he doesn't have to be so generous with his time. He doesn't owe it to anybody. And I'm not saying that, you know, like he's a victim as far as like a victim mindset. You know, a survivor, a victim, whatever he wants to call it. But he's the only person that is out here, like, in the public eye that has been, you know, physically harmed, you know, deeply. And I've talked to him, and, you know, he has strong feelings about things. And the fact that there's still such a massive disinformation campaign about the Son of Sam, just because David Berkowitz said one thing after stories changed numerous times, and, you know, well, definitely there was no cult involved and it was just one shooter, I don't, it doesn't hold weight with me. It doesn't hold weight with me whatsoever. I think that Carl's a smart guy. I think that, and I'm not trying to infantilize him, I think that people take advantage of his kindness and generosity, and he certainly doesn't owe it to the world to be that way. And there's a lot of snakes in this community, man. There's a lot of snakes in this community. Do you know about Arles Perry's husband, Bruce Perry, and what he's up to today? Yes, I do. Yeah, her husband is sus AF. I got some new information about Arles Perry, specifically some people that may or may not have been there when that strange character showed up before she died, that showed up at her work. I'm trying to flesh out some of that, because I'm back to my old theory as far as the Arles Perry murder. I don't think that, think of the timing of the Son of Sam documentary, the release of that book, Murder Under God's Eye. Open and shut case in the public eye, right? Don't buy it. One can't help but wonder what links Hodel may have had to Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard and Lookout Mountain, and how many other Black Dahlias he created. Yes, there are snakes in many communities. That's an interesting question, AP Gifts. I don't know. I think the stuff with Jack Parsons is super weird. I think that there's a lot of weird stuff with the Haganah, you know? And it's also weird that Anton LaVey was a big fan of the Haganah. You remember Jay Mortis when we were scared to talk about that? When me and you did that deep dive? Look at where we are now. Doesn't rain in here dropping stuff about tiny hats. Oh, the times have changed so quickly. But yeah, you know, I think that it's really weird that, you know, the nation state of Israel was possibly tied into two of those situations. A little bit weird. Haran theory is Denaro was shot to send a message to his family, who, according to Haran, is mobbed up. I don't know who Jack Warner is off the top of my head, and if that makes me sound dumb, I apologize, but I'm just being honest. And yeah, an IDF was in Dallas on the day. Yeah, exactly. What a joke. I think that if that's true, RR channel, well, I'm certainly not going to ask Carl. I don't feel comfortable pressing him for information. I feel like people do that enough. If that was the case, it would be interesting, because I'm digging more into something that a friend of mine across the pond had posited to me. They saw a post that I had made on Twitter that had a photo of Roy DeMeo before he was killed. Because, you know, Roy DeMeo was tied up with this CSAM garbage and this weird UN charity fraud. And Roy DeMeo looks identical to the sketch for the Voskerichian shooting. And one of the people's names that was redacted in the Voskerichian police report, the name was redacted, obviously, but they were moving weapons, and they worked for DeMeo's gun shop. No, I'm not kidding. That's what it says in the report. And DeMeo was also a made man that year. So, do I think that there's meatballs involved in a lot of this? Yeah, Absolutely. And it would also track why so much information has been hidden, since a lot of the meatballs are, you know, informants. A lot of them are snitching on each other, especially these ones that are involved in all this nasty human trafficking CSAM stuff. So it's just food for thought. Jack Warner started Warner Brothers, but in my dream, I was trying to figure out what these kids Mafia guys. Well, I mean, I don't know, the stuff with like the cartoons and the comic books and the argument that like those superheroes is like some weird LARPing. I don't know. Thank goodness for the mind maps. People would have to start buying a lot of strings otherwise. You know what's crazy is when I first did my first rabbit hole, I went to the Dollar Tree and bought the poster boards and the strings and did that. And it was a mess. And I got Sharpie everywhere. And it took me so freaking long to do it. So the digital mind maps are much more helpful. Yeah, I know who Thomas Horan is. Don't know the guy personally. I have my feelings about some of his takes, but I think that the Mafia angle is something that's overlooked with a lot of this stuff, you know? And sorry, but Mr. There's a cottage industry that's been started all around me, ballbagger. You know, he's had his little cop friends on Twitter, you know, try to intimidate me. You know, they like to say that the Mafia had morals. That's what they try to tell me. So I think that there's a reason why a lot of that stuff hasn't been discussed. Because people get real weird about the DeMeo CSAM thing. Not my problem. I don't really care. It's not my problem. Big money connected to Gadget cult at Untermeyer that Lentini mentioned Bilderberg to Codella. Yeah, I've got to come back and try to flesh out that timeline with Tiny Lantini. I got to re-listen to those interviews with Mike Codella to try to figure out the murder of that woman that they said it was like with a sword. And he said that they were able to confirm the information that Tiny gave them. I want to see exactly when that happened, but I mean, why does that kind of stuff surprise people? And why do people like cottage industry of ballbaggers, blah, the morons and the baristas? Like, bro, the cults now are filled with like doctors and lawyers and wealthy people. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's just reality. Why is the Son of Sam any different? Right? I don't think that it's any different. But this is just my opinion. You know, it's takes a group to cover these things up. And I want to know where the rest of Maury's files are. I know where they are. I just want them to come out. That's all I want. I know exactly where they are. I have a good guess. I have a radius guess of where the rest of them are. And I would like the rest of them to come out. And this whole shore story about, you know, oh, we were told to just take this amount and blah, 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 blah. Not true. Not true. Are there truly any links between Russell and Bernardo Homolka and the pig farmer serial? That I have no idea. But that was the Picton farm, right? In Canada? Because I remember that. I remember reading about that. I haven't looked at that in a long time. I gotta come back to that. Because they had a bunch of motorcycle gangs there too. And they had that, it was like a bar, right? It was like a club. They had like a pig on the logo. I can't remember what it's called, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Paige Silva, I'm not going to say specifically, you know, it's the person that originally had possession of them, that's where they are. So it's either at Franco's house or the other Satanoid's house. One or the other. That's where they are. Because I have a pretty tight number of what was originally presented and then what was given to the public. Yeah. Which makes me think that, you know, maybe there's a reason why the Garden Brigade decided to target a certain person and use their name as clickbait in a recent thumbnail. I don't know. But I will not be trusting any other people within the Son of Sam community because it is a complete hellscape. Some believe Madeline McCann's parents were occultists, and in order to launch their careers in newly elevated societal positions, they had to offer up one of their kids to the cult. Well, is Podesta a part of that cult? That would be my question. And thank you so much, Verissa Leos. The latest Marilyn doc film said she went to the hospital at 10:30. Well, Piggy Palace. Thank you so much, MDH 1970. I knew it was something. I think that all documentaries that come out on these streaming services are propaganda films, and there's truths peppered into a bunch of lies. But this is just my 2 cents. Did you guys hear that? It's really loud. I bet the replay on this, the sound is going to be garbage. It's going to be complete garbage. I've been going for an hour and a half. This is painful for me. I'm probably going to end this here soon. Seriously, they really buy into all of that. David Berkowitz would probably give you an interview. Well, since you said that, I would speak with David. It would have to be of his own volition, under no pretense. As far as expectations, it is very unfortunate that there is someone out here who uses the clout of other trustworthy, good, solid researchers to put themselves up on a pedestal. But basically, no one is allowed to communicate with David unless, you know, you go through them. Does David know that? I'm of the opinion that he does not. Thank you so much, Kanha. And no, nobody's making a documentary called Ed Edwards. No, they're gonna blame him for JFK. And someone probably already has. So, you know, I didn't like that person from the jump. That person had approached me previously and acted like they were the authority on something, and I said, I don't really like your attitude. And, you know, come to find out that this person now acts like they are the gatekeeper of David. And again, I'm not his friend. I think that the truth needs to come out about, you know, the Wendy Savino stuff. I don't believe that he's guilty. I don't believe that he's guilty of any of the other crimes that these assholes are getting ready to pin on him that they've been hinting at for fucking months. And, you know, these friends of his that are gatekeeping, you know, what have they gotten accomplished with Netflix? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Some friends. And, you know, I'm not out here to make friends. I really don't give a damn. I do think that there's an important conversation to be had, and it's just really unfortunate that people will, you know, cloak themselves as benevolent or good, and it's not bore out by the evidence. Discussions of manufacturing situations where, you know, they can try to paint David in a sympathetic light towards certain parties, and it's like, you don't need to manufacture anything. You know, David was very respectful to me, the one message that he communicated to me. And I don't want anything from the guy. Do I think that David Berkowitz would answer my questions about the process? I really don't think so. And I don't fault him, because guess what? He's been bothered about it for years. He doesn't owe me anything. If he wanted to talk about it, that's fine. But you know, he's got vultures that people will never see that are there just basically putting a gag order on him. And I have zero respect for those people. Or that one person. You know who you are. I don't play those games. And I wouldn't want to mop the floor with him, you know. I would love to ask him questions. I would love to ask Codella questions. There's people that are still alive, like Jimmy Boots, that I would love to ask questions, but there's shitty people in the Son of Sam community that have ensured that communication with some of these parties has been cut off because we don't fit into the popularity contest. Yeah, and by we, I mean me and or some of the people that I research with. And it's a shame. But I think that one of them is an informant, not just for our government, but for the British government. Let me see. Any theories on what David is so afraid of? Well, a lot of these people are still alive, Jenny Lee. No statute of limitations on murder, baby girl. What was, it's Carl, I believe. That it was a woman that shot him, right? And for those of you that are in on the Son of Sam lore, then you know what woman it is. And you notice how a lot of people in the Son of Sam community are very sympathetic to a certain woman? No statute of limitations on murder. Yes. Lutefisk Limeade. Yep. Playing my stream on a projector on a loop in her backyard while she hoses down Neo, Dougie, Manny. Feel like I'm missing somebody. Maybe not. She whips them with a wet rope. Call Maury a wig-wearing chain smoker again. While they eat out of dog bowls on all fours. That's what I imagine happening. Dana, I knew Tiny and his MC club back in the day. Well, Franz Marx, I don't do, and it's nothing against anybody else. I don't give out my phone number anymore. All communication basically has to stick through email. And hopefully people understand. Because it's more than just the Son of Sam stuff, you know. There's also, like, the 3301 people, and the Satanic Temple people, and obviously the ZDT stuff, and you know, just all this insanity and the Reddit stuff, you know. So, if it's through email, I'm cool with that. Let me see. Would you ever be interested in speaking with Linda Kasabian? Well, I don't really know what she's going to tell me. I would probably keep it short. And I would really just be asking about the process. I might have a couple questions about the Satan slaves. But, I mean, that would be a pretty... I would probably wrap that up pretty quickly if I wasn't getting good answers. Like, and by good, it's not that answers that meet my standards. It's, you know, if she's like, I don't remember, I'd be like, okay, I'm not doing this. You know? I'm not doing it. Like, I'm out. Thank you. No thanks. See if he had tinnitus before he heard voices. I mean, I don't know. I posited the theory, what was it, Super Bowl Sunday when I did Program to Thrill. You know, voice to skull technology, people make fun of it. I'm sorry that you don't read. That's not my problem. But, you know, you don't need to take it out on other people. Just tell us that you're insecure with your base level of knowledge about the subject. But, you know, I mean, voice to skull technology was very predominant already at that time. And it would be, I think Untermeyer Park would be an interesting place to deploy it. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Protect your neck. Which websites do you recommend to learn and to keep updated about the SOS? I have no idea. The Allen. The People versus David Berkowitz. I mean, their entire process page is garbage. And that was done on purpose. I won't say allegedly because it's very obvious. I've posted corrections on Twitter where it's like, why are you guys lying to people? And why are there post-it notes that say episode number? You know, that's whatever. Eric Galati knows all about that. Why don't people go and ask him about his friend that's running that? He knows that guy. You remember when Manny was supposed to do that devastating takedown last year? You remember that? Yeah? And how magically those files popped up on the People versus David Berkowitz the next day? According to old Eric Galati, that was him. Because he was trying to save from the gardener smearing his dear friend, James Jimmy Boots Rothstein, the Honorable Mayor. And I said, well, really saving him from that? Or are you saving him from having to debate me about the process, showing that he knows fuck all about the process? Makes you wonder, right? Makes you wonder. V2K was how Beethoven kept hearing. Yeah, it's very old tech. I don't like when people sit there and, you know, make fun of that kind of stuff. Because it's very real. But, you know, some of these people just have their head in a hole about the topic that they're studying. So, it is what it is. Was the boy in the box scandal where some Satanist lady and her cult locked her son linked to the process or Scientology? I think that was linked to the... Oh no, what was the name of that cult? That was a different cult that sued Ed. They tried to. Oh, and it's not the Golden Dawn. No. It's a different one. Damn it, I can't think of it. I'll make a note. Because that was a different cult that Ed was researching that was in the book. And they sued him. I don't know why I can't think of it. And hello, Shane Eode. I'm not going to be vertical for much longer. I was just testing this out and it's completely gone away from me. No, it wasn't the Solar Lodge. It was something very strange. God, I wish I could remember it. It was the weirdest name. And I have the lawsuit. It's a short lawsuit that they, you know, because they were like, oh, we didn't do that. But then it came out in trial that they absolutely did. I just learned about Grossman. He was talking absolutely crazy to Jonathan Mitchell, the guy who wrote the Yonker cult book, in a YouTube comment section. Manny is fucking unhinged. You have honorable. Thank you. I mean, you guys know how I feel. I have not read Jonathan Mitchell's book. Jonathan Mitchell has been nothing but polite to me and the, you know, comment correspondence that we have had, which has been brief. I think he shares some really fascinating stuff on Twitter as well. I think he's very knowledgeable. And, you know, I'm very new to the Son of Sam stuff. I'm very new. So, you know, it's kind of been baptism by fire with everything. But, you know, the Garden Brigade thinks that they're a know-it-all and thinks that their audience is stupid. And thank you, Old Norse 175. No, it's not the Solar Lodge. I'm trying to think of it. It's a really weird... It's a weird name. I want to say it starts something with a V. And I don't know why I can't think of it. But, you know, I'm of the opinion that certain parties were fully aware that what they were laundering to the public was not the full truth. Was not the full truth. And they sold it as such, and that none of that was organic. And that's not a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not bore out by the facts, right? And you guys can intimidate me. Can intimidate me. Hello, Marine Laform. And I don't know Geekadelic. I'm not great at writing. You know, these people think that, like, you know, they can try and intimidate me or threaten me, and, you know, and they can try. You know, it is what it is. Go for it. I can assure you, none of you, I mean, besides, you know, if you want to take me out, which my homies know where to look. One place is in the Northeast, and the other's on the West Coast. You know, it's, besides taking me out, the threats and, you know, damage, whatever, you can't do anything worse than Zero Dark Tony. Sorry. Good luck. Including Reddit. Have fun with your little smear campaigns. Go for it. I don't care. Who is Chuck Swindle? And hello, Brian Beck. That's very nice. There's also Neil Sanders out there trying to downplay the role of the process. Who's Neil? Who's Neil? I will fight him. Who is he? Son of Sam cult links to the Schofield fake Bible because the cult met at Ontmeyer Park and Sam Ontmeyer sponsored the creation of a Schofield Bible by Cyrus Schofield. Man, y'all are like so smart. You guys make me feel dumb. You guys make, and it's a good thing. I'm glad you guys make me feel dumb. I'm glad that there's smarter people watching because then y'all can keep me in check. Doesn't mean I'm always going to agree with you, but I will listen. Oh yeah, Sam Ontmeyer, shady AF. Come on now. I love the whole argument, like, there was no satanic cult. They weren't doing any of that. This is conspiracy theory. Maurice does. The morons. Shut up. Go back in the garden, please. For the love of God. For the love of everything holy, please. Someone cut off this man's internet for 6 months and let him actually retire. Take a little break. You don't know who Chuck is. Dude, he had you in his essay on the Khazarian Mafia. What are you talking about? You're the second person that has mentioned me and the Khazarian Mafia, and I have no idea what you're talking about. Can someone find a link on this, please? Because I'm so confused. I used to like Neil Sanders back in the day because he did some great presentations about the history of MK Ultra, but now he's a turncoat. Interesting. And thank you so much, AP Gifts. Dana, if you ever need to lay low, you can come to Bavaria and stay in my in-law suite. Ooh. I think it would fit in well. I usually am pale, you know what I mean? Well, you look at the Eton Pats case. It ties Jimmy Boots started and Westchester Dr. Gadusek cult, or what Jesse Turner told MT about the process. Yeah, absolutely. I have discussed Eton Pats a little bit. And honestly, I think it was the first time, maybe the second. No, it was the first time when I went to Ed's archives. I was actually looking for the taped interview of Tiny Lentini. They were missing. And no one has been able to give me an answer of where those tapes went. A couple of the clowns in the Son of Sam community tried to give me excuses, which makes me think that they have a copy. But, yeah, there's a lot there. And Codella talks about Eton Pats too. So I think that that's very interesting. Let me see. Chuck Swindle Jr. The Jr. is important. He was a famous pastor. Somebody's got to like post a comment or a DM, or somebody's got to email it to me. Send it by a pigeon, please. That would be great because I have no idea what you guys are talking about. And I don't even know that I know what the Khazarian Mafia is. I'm going to stay on for 14 more minutes because then it'll be 10 o'clock and it's getting a little bit late. Or the Kaz Mafia comments referring to the book that's called The 13th Tribe. I have no idea. These people have just, I mean, I'm not judging you guys. Thank you for letting me know. But I have no idea what they're talking about. That I was mentioned in like an article or a blog or something. That's cool. I want to know what it's about. You discussed Glassman in your recent episode. His death, totally shady. There's some proof he did not die. Well, I remember finding his obituary and it was super vague, and I think that like the timing of when he died was also weird. So I really want that book. I want that book against the wall. I want to know. The stuff with Wackenhut is what drives me nuts. The stuff with Wackenhut, it's just too much. There's too many octopus ties to the timeline. There's too many. Way too many. Especially, who is it? Danny Castellero's younger sister, ODing, in Haight-Ashbury. At the same time that Michael Reconciuto is there. It's like, okay, whatever you guys say. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Swindle did the God Eaters Khazarian Mafia pods. Yeah, I have no idea. You guys are telling me. Homie with stingers in his backyard. Yes, super vague, hooky. Yeah, once it gets, like, super vague, I'm just like, there's something off. If I can't find you, there's a problem. If it's super vague, there's a problem. You gotta give me something to work with. Especially someone who was so in the press. Can't just blame it on the son of Sam, right? There's too many rabbit holes that lead to the dumb end tunnels. The immature idiot in me is laughing at what I can. In your XDM, Dana. Thank you, Meatball. You're the best. I can't do the dumbs. Can't do the dumbs, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. QAnon has ruined the dumbs for me. I'm sorry. Please don't judge me. I can't. I can't. I can't do it. I'm not. Nope. Not doing the dumbs. Fighting a secret war of dark and light from your cell phone. No, that's not real. But if you want to LARP at home, God bless and good luck. Because Scientology in the process are taking over the government, right? There are some people that, man, it chaps my ass that they have left old comments. I mean, this was like the early days of my channel. This chick is crazy, and she thinks that, like, you know, Scientology is a bigger deal than it is, and the process is a bigger deal than it is, and I want to be like, say it with your chest now. Come at me with it. Yeah? Come at me with it. But yes, victims in SOS not linked. Parents of SOS victims definitely linked as possible. Zodiac, same thing. Zodiac also has Darlene Ferrin and what's his name? What's the dude's name? Buzz. Why can't I think of it? Jim Phillips. James Crabtree / Jim Phillips. That dude. Was it Dare? It was Dare or it was Echo. Don't judge me if I get it wrong, guys. I did the map. Jim Phillips, down the street from The Process, from Jolly West LSD lab, from Dr. Smith's meth lab, from the Devil Street Waller house, from the Manson house, from 3 other Processians, from a member of the Church of Satan that was in Darlene Ferrin's phone book, and in the process induction list for March of 1969. Who do we have? But we have a Jim Phillips. And the other members that are on that street were being inducted at the same time. So, I do think that, you know, the members of the Church of Satan that were in Darlene Ferrin's phone book and Jim Phillips being in there, that's super sus. Yeah, Crabtree. He's shady. What am I talking about, Demon Lord? I have no idea. I'm rambling for another 9 minutes. Let me see. Check out Ren Sleuther. House, the new song from his new album. Okay, I will try to find that. I went down the Bush Crowley rabbit hole thinking initially it was ridiculous. All the acid is brown and it's fake and gay. Yeah, I can't. I leave that up to other people. I gotta leave that up to other people, man. It's too much. It's too much. You know that meme, "Dis too much"? It's too much. And hello, Adrian. Yes, the phone book. Key to Darlene Ferrin, murder that phone book. I think so, Shani Ode. I think that there's a lot of good information. The next time I talk about Zodiac, I'll show my updated map, because I've added a lot of stuff, because John David Norman, the pederast, notorious pederast and pornographer, he was very big in California. Not where they were. It was more near the southern side. He was very close to the Scientology LA org, as well as Thetan Manor, and wasn't that far from the Pussycat Theater, and the Philosophical Research Society, the Manly P. Hall stuff, they were all right around each other. All of them. Yes, I do believe in Jesus. I don't care if people think that I'm crazy. I do. And are you talking about Tiny and T.I.? No, they're not talking about T.I. Hey, Dana, great research, mad respect. Well, thank you so much, Greg. Could you tell us a little bit more about your research about Arles Perry? I mean, I haven't figured out. I have the names that were given to me of the people that were, you know, that may or may not have been there that day. And one of the priest that conducted the service at Stanford. So I want to see what I can find, but you know, it's... The process was all around there at that time, and I don't buy that it was that security guard. That story doesn't make sense, and the propaganda coming out at the exact same time now about all of that doesn't make sense. I don't buy it. I don't know. You know, I think that Murder Under God's Eye was a good book. It gave a fantastic history of Stanford. And I really enjoyed that part. Mentions a couple folks from the Franklin scandal, which is pretty disturbing. But Boys Town, specifically, 2 people. I think that there's more there. And I think it's going to be really hard to figure out exactly who was there and who she saw. In my mind, I mean, I go back to who I imagined when I was listening to Josh Zeman's, you know, version of the book, and it was Father Christian. It was the younger DePire brother. That's exactly who I imagined. So, I don't know. One of the zebra was the brother of one of the zebra serial killers, one of your patients. He was shot at a phone booth. Small world. Man, that zebra gang was wild. That zebra gang was wild. You know, when we come back and, you know, eventually talk about the, you know, Congress of Racial Equality, I mean, we're going to be looking a lot more at, like, the COINTELPRO chaos stuff. Because I think that there's a lot there. And I have pretty strong feelings about what the Atlanta child murders were about, but the Congress of Racial Equality deserves a very, very deep dive with a fine-tooth comb. Fine-tooth comb. Stanford's entire founding is occultic. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely AP gifts. That's why I think that Murder Under God's Eye, the history that they give of Stanford, was very informative. Hello, KR. And Tavistock is a trap house. Yes, it is. So is Aswan. And did I lose track of time? I have 5 minutes. Okay. Was Jeff Gannon and Johnny Gosch. Man, on my Instagram, way back, I have old videos of them. Literally, it was... Damn it, I can't think of it now. Damn it. It was an MSNBC daytime show, and they were talking about Johnny Gosch. They talk about the Monarch program, literally, on daytime TV, and then they interview Jeff Gannon. I think the Jeff Gannon story is super shady, but I don't really know. And then Bill Maher had Jeff Gannon on with Robin Williams and Joe Biden. And that was also really weird. And Jeff Gannon does look straight up like MK'd. So I don't know. Maybe. Nobody really knows where he came from. Any other books that you would recommend? Yeah, Talon News. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Let's see. I don't know. I have a lot of weird books. I have a lot. Thank you, Stiffmeister Joker. It's not like weird as in weird. I got a lot of stuff on LBJ. So, I don't know. Let's see. I've got The Path to Power about LBJ. We got quite a few Nazi books. Overthrow is a good book, even though Stephen Kinzer's a major limited hangout. But, I mean, I think LBJ is like one of the most sus characters of all time. And he's also a disgusting pig. I'm trying to think what else. Because, I mean, besides history, I stick to, like, some, like, more philosophy-related stuff. Like, I love Nietzsche. He's one of my favorite authors. And Dykowski. Let me see. I don't know. I've got a lot of books about the mob. You know, stuff about Lucky Luciano. Program to Kill. Let's see. I've got Hoover's FBI, Imperial Hubris. I'm just listing off some of my favorites. Let's see. Last one. Which one do I want to go with? All right, the one that I'm reading right now is The Binghams of Louisville. The Binghams of Louisville. Claudia Bingham. She was supposed to be a Processian, right? So I want to know more about their family history. The Binghams of Louisville. Goodwill's where it's at, man. Goodwill's where it's at. You got to drop $2. Make you holla for that knowledge. You know what I mean? Eventually I'll take pictures of like my bookshelves, and no, I've never read H.P. Albarelli. Nope. But I've also got quite a few books on Vietnam. Got some books on Mormons. I've got the what is that one called? The Whims of Fortune. It's about the Rothschild family. Yeah. So, just depends what you like, what you're into. Am I still interested? Well, JFK, I'm more interested in the Garrison's investigation. Garrison solved it, in my opinion, for the most part. Or he at least laid out the best argument. And, you know, the stuff with Barbara Reed and Carrie Thornley and the process, well, no, I'm not pinning everything on the process. The process has been there the entire time. It ain't got nothing to do with me, baby. Ain't got nothing to do with me. But I have a minute left, so I guess I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully this was successful. I hope that this was a successful first vertical live. It wasn't that bad. I thought I was going to be a lot more nervous. I may hate it on the replay, just so you guys know. I may make it private. I have no idea. I make no promises. And I'm hoping that I'm going to end this properly. I'm hoping. Hopefully. But I will talk to you guys soon. Be safe. And yeah, let's see if I can end this, right? Let's see if I can do it.